Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and we're going to do a little bit of an update on the Twitch advertising situation. A couple days ago, we did a video talking about how some Twitch streamers were losing 80 to 95% of their ad revenue almost overnight. And now we have a little bit of an explanation as to what is going on. This is coming from Deserto. Significant Twitch advertisers pause spending over anti-Semitism concerns. So it's kind of what we thought, right? It's over politics because they have some streamers on their platform that are very anti-Israel. I'm just gonna put that out there. And yeah, it seems like it's hurting everybody, even if they're not overly political. We had people complaining about losing their ad revenue, being down from hundreds of dollars a day to like 15 bucks a day. And this was a guy who I think covered the stock market. I think the one guy. Then we had that one FaZe Clan member, I think it was Lacey, complaining that he was only making $2,000 a day now, down from $10,000 a day, and that he should have just been a mailman because, you know, mailmen make $500,000 or more a year. Right? Every mailman I know makes a hell of a lot more money than I do. But I digress. Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. And if you would be so inclined, check out clownfish-.com. Also check out clownfishtv.locals.com. It is our minus club. It's actually going to be on both platforms. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a lot of weird stuff going on with YouTube and Twitch and advertising and websites. And I don't know what the future is going to hold. Can you imagine if we had Clownfish TV on Twitch? I mean, we probably wouldn't have gotten as far as we have if we were on Twitch. But could you imagine? And then just one day we wake up and it's like, yeah, you're not making any money anymore. Sorry. Because of whatever reason. I think this is going to be the kill shot for Twitch. I think Amazon's going to look at it and be like, you're not even bringing ad revenue in now. And the new CEO is a disaster. And this company isn't making any money. And it hasn't for a long time. I mean, they bought Twitch like 10 years ago. And I think I read somewhere that it's not profitable yet. Like they bought it 10 years ago. It's not profitable and it only accounts for less than 1% of Amazon's revenue. And they're cutting things like Freebie and they cut Comixology. They totally could cut Twitch. They could, because there are other streaming platforms out there. And if you're not making money at it, it's not super profitable for you and it's causing you a lot of headaches. Sometimes it's worth just shutting it down. So we'll talk about this. But again, check out clownfish-.com or clownfishtv.locals.com. And on the Clownfish Minus site, we actually have some Clownfish merch. I've got more merch coming. We're just trying to get our bearings, and going into next year, we're going to hit things pretty hard. We're reorganizing our publishing plans, and we have a new brand that we're going to be publishing under, and we got some people helping us with fulfillment. So things will be a lot smoother, I hope. Up to this point, it's mostly just been us, and that's very hard. When you're a small business, it's very, very hard to get everything done the way it should be done. So this is coming from Deserto. Again, significant Twitch advertisers pause spending over anti-Semitism concerns. Over 10 major companies have suspended advertising on Twitch over the platform's response to alleged anti-Semitic content, according to a report by Richard Lewis. The controversy started in October when it was revealed Twitch had prevented users in Israel from joining the streaming platform for a full year following the October 7th, 2023 attacks. I thought it was Palestine too. Apparently it's just Israel. The streaming site and its CEO Dan Clancy have also faced calls by Democratic Representative Richie Torres to stop popularizing those who popularize anti-Semitism, aka Hassan. Yeah, I'm just saying. In particular, yeah, Torres singled out Hassan's political streams, saying platforming any of these terrorist organizations, as Piker has done, is beyond the pale. This is coming from a Democrat. This isn't like the alt-right Nazis. This is coming from a Democrat. I think the guy is black. So it's a black Democrat saying, Twitch, you are platforming extremist rhetoric, but it's coming from the left. So who are the Nazis again? Yeah, I'm saying, like, everybody goes on about YouTube like those Nazis don't like Star Wars. Meanwhile, Twitch has people that actually espouse what they consider to be anti-Semitic rhetoric. I would have to see Hassan's statements in full to see if I agree with that, if I personally agree with that assessment. But anyway, Clancy responded to the concerns in a blog post where he emphasized that Twitch wouldn't tolerate anti-Semitism or Islamophobia. Companies have reportedly paused their ads on the site. So remember, this happened with Twitter too, with X. Everybody freaked out when Elon Musk bought Twitter. They said that it was showing their ads next to anti-Semitic content. And it turns out it was actually GARM, some like advertising watchdog group that's now defunct. But they were manipulating the algorithm to show like Disney princess ads next to white supremacist stuff. But they had to manipulate the algorithm to get it to that point, right? And then Musk told them to go F themselves. Well, now all these people bring their money back to X. So are they taking the Twitch spend and are they spending it on X? And I've heard it through the grapevine that R place, the green R place, apparently they're supposed to be getting some bigger advertisers too. So are people taking the money away from Twitch and putting it on these quote unquote alt-right Nazi websites, social media platforms, because Twitch actually is hosting, like legitimately hosting that kind of content? Just wondering. As reported by Richard Lewis, I don't think we're talking about the comic here. A number of significant platforms have paused their advertising spend with the streaming platform and cited allegations of anti-Semitism as to the reason why. Let's take a look at this. Okay, the site's just called richardlewis.substack.com. We'll go out and look at this here after we're done with this article. Lewis reports that 11 corporations and agencies that represent multiple companies have paused spending. Lewis reports 11 corporations and agencies that represent multiple companies have paused spending. And a lot of these big ad agencies, they control the purse strings of so many companies. So you could have an agency that has like 10 or 12 major accounts, and it could be like, Coca-Cola and Chevy and, whatever, McDonald's, and they could just be like, we're turning the money off. That's why these companies hire these agencies, because they hire them to maximize their advertising spend. And if they say, hey, we don't think Twitch is a good idea right now, then they're not going to spend money on Twitch. Now, my understanding of the situation with Twitch is you can't just advertise on individual channels. You basically have to give them hundreds of thousands of dollars at minimum, and they just advertise across the platform. So you can't control like, hey, I want to advertise on this particular streamer's channel because their stuff is brand safe, but these other streamers aren't. I honestly think this is going to be the kill shot for Twitch, because I do not see Amazon right now. Amazon is brutally cutting. They hired a new guy I think it was this year, or maybe it was the end of last year, to basically just cut everything that doesn't turn a profit. And you cannot have a Q4 where Twitch has no advertising revenue and have Amazon be okay with that. They'd be like, what the hell's going on? Because you can't just turn advertising off and on like a light switch. Sometimes it takes a month or two to ramp up a spend. Sometimes, a lot of times, and this comes from a former marketing guy, we would plan our ad spend out a year in advance. Easy. I mean, I have the marketing budget, and we had a little bit of money left to play around with if something would come up at the last minute, or we'd get a really good deal on like, okay, we're going to get like a block of radio ads or something, and we didn't foresee this. So we'd have, a little bit of money in the slush fund, right? But these agencies are going to plan the spend out for the year. And if they're not spending in Q4, Twitch is fucked, because that's where most of the money, that's where most of the spend is going to come from. And if they just turn the advertising off on Twitch during Q4, like they're not going to rebound. Even if they decide, hey, okay, you guys got rid of some of the content that we're worried about, or you talked us into it, or we'll just stream on everybody's channel but Hassan's or whatever. It doesn't matter. By the time they turn the advertising back on, it's going to be January, February, and those ad rates are abysmal. Like they're half of what they are, easy, during Q4. So yeah, they're fucked. And I can almost guarantee you Amazon is going to know this, and they're going to be like, hey there, Clancy. Yeah, I think you're done. You're out the door. You let this happen. You're out the door. Of note, Chevron was said to be furious at a TwitchCon panel segment where streamers rated content creators from Arab to love Sabra while a Chevron logo was displayed in the background. Critics of the segment noted that while Sabra can refer to a type of hummus, it means someone who is born in Israel. After the clip from the panel went viral, Chevron was very angry. A Twitch employee said having their logo in the background of a clip being used as an example of anti-Semitism prompted some awkward conversations. This is amazing. Amazon-owned Twitch runs a sponsored panel at Twitch convention with partnered streamer Frogan, where they rank people from Arab to Jew lover. And their logos are in the background. Samsung, Chevron. What the hell? What does this have to do with video games? I mean, seriously, what even is Twitch anymore? I don't understand. I don't, because Twitch actually reached out to us. I mean, we're talking years ago. Before we even started doing YouTube, we were actually doing pretty okay in the webcomic space and the podcast space a long time ago. And they reached out to us to do creative content on Twitch. And this would have been like 2012, 2013. And they wanted me to basically just come over and draw because they're trying to get away from video games. Because they're like, we're going to hit peak video game stream here pretty soon. We're trying to get some other kinds of content. So they went from that, which was pretty basic, like, hey, just come over here and draw some, Disney stuff or whatever, whatever you can get away with. And I did for a while, and then I bagged it because I'm like, Twitch isn't really going anywhere, not for this kind of content. And now it's all half-naked girls or less and politics. Because they're doing whatever they can do to try to get to stick, right? I mean, I don't know. I think they're about done. Anyway, back to the article. In an attempt to be more advertiser-friendly, Twitch added a new stream label for political and sensitive social issues, allowing companies to opt out of having their ads on that content. Too bad they already pulled their spend, and it's going to take a while to get it back. They cannot just push a button and turn it back on. While some companies viewed the change as sufficient, others wanted more done and have continued to suspend their advertising. Some see it as covering up the problem rather than addressing it, the source claimed, and they're not coming back to the platform until something more direct happens. It appears streamers are beginning to feel the pain in their wallets due to the advertising boycott. Streamers Kason and Big X revealed they had been demonetized on the platform for having Iran and Venezuela in their channel tags. Others, such as XQC and Pirate Software, are convinced that Twitch isn't undergoing an apocalypse as many others have feared. I don't know. I mean, maybe because they're much bigger streamers, and it could be that their stuff is considered brand safe. I don't know. I don't know what the criteria is, but there are people reporting that aren't even political streamers, as far as I'm aware. They're reporting a massive hit to their bottom line. Twitch is continuing to make policy updates. On November 15th, at the request of the ADL, they banned the word Zionist when used to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious beliefs. Yeah, so I know Asmongold's been going hard in the paint against Twitch, which is so weird because I remember we did videos about the demise of Twitch and people tried to argue with us that no, Twitch is fine. It's all fine. And we've been covering it for about 2 years now. I mean, at one point in time, we actually considered mirroring our gaming content on Twitch, and we experimented with it a little bit, but I'm like, I don't see a point. Like, I just don't see a point. Like, Twitch is not a gaming platform anymore. It really isn't. So what's going on with this? This is today as well. XQC and Pirate Software debunk Twitch adpocalypse worries. Okay, so here's the other side of it. They said it's only affecting certain streamers. Over the past few weeks, Twitch has been under fire on a few different fronts. That included banning Asmongold, making changes toward VTuber models, and unbanning previously banned streamers like Sneeko. More recently, the Amazon-owned platform has reportedly been hit by advertisers walking away. Blame has been passed around by a few different streamers as to why. A number of streamers have started to fight back against the claims, including XQC. The Twitch and Kickstarter said that the advertiser change isn't affecting every streamer, only a select few. Guys, this is brain rot chat. The apocalypse is not happening. It's not real. People that engage with tags in politics have a higher risk thing, right? It's like the naked people on stream. They use tags and stuff that is less monetized, and they use tags that might give them less revenue. It is what it is. Well, here's the thing. What if people mistag their streams? What if you tag your stream like puppies and kittens, and by kittens you mean pussy in politics? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, because people do that all the time. They do, to try to skirt the issue. And you know, all it's going to take is one or two complaints. I mean, it's very possible that they know that these guys, since they're bigger streamers, that they're going to be brand safe for the most part, and it's totally fine to run. But it doesn't negate the fact that we have people saying that major advertisers have pulled out completely. They're pulling off the platform completely. And there are people that are not political that are losing all kinds of revenue. We had the one Japanese girl. I think she's Japanese. She was down to pennies a day. We had the guy who covers the stock market. He was, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, something's just not, or it could, so this is another thing that happens. And again, I do not know if this is the case at Twitch, but sometimes these platforms will pad the payouts for their bigger performers to keep them incentivized to stay on the platform. It is possible, I'm not saying this is what's going on, but it's possible that Twitch really is hurting, but they want to keep XQC and Pirate Software happy. They don't want them going to another platform and ditching Twitch, because they can't really afford to lose many more big streamers. A lot of them have already left. You know, I'm just saying that is a possibility. It's kind of sort of like a Ponzi scheme, I guess, where you pay your big performers and you give them a big fat bonus, and then they're going to sing the praises of your platform. And really, you can't afford to lose them. So it could be that these guys, because they're bigger, they're getting the lion's share of the advertising that Twitch has rolling in. And you just have to kind of just, assume that, whenever like Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or X, whatever, Rumble, whenever they pay you, you just kind of assume that they're being on the level with you. Right. And so, yeah, I mean, I could totally see that happening. It's like, we can't afford to lose these 10, 12 streamers, pay them what we normally pay. I mean, if we're not bringing the ad revenue in to support it, because they're going to bitch about it and they're going to do a lot more damage. XQC going out there and complaining about, getting a fifth of his revenue or whatever is going to be a much, much bigger deal than somebody that only makes, maybe a couple $1,000s a month. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, this does happen in the creator, in the entertainment space. You keep your top performers happy. I'm just saying it's a possibility that they're not seeing it. I'm not saying that is what's happening, but when you've got a bunch of other people saying advertisers are pulling out, and these guys are like, no, our ad rates are fine. It could just be that both things are true. Advertisers are pulling out, and these particular people did not see a hit to their bottom line as damage control. He says stance was backed up by Pirate Software, who noted that his ferret rescue project runs solely off ad revenue and it hasn't changed. There's no adpocalypse going on. There's no adpocalypse happening. None of our ad revenue has changed. None of the ad revenue of any streamer I know has changed. I know that there were some problems with certain tags that were on Twitch that people were talking about, but none of our shit has had problems. None of it. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Now, this is the guy where the report came from initially, Richard Lewis. He said confirmation that several companies and agencies have suspended advertising spending on the streaming platform following allegations of anti-Semitism. He says, according to sources familiar with the business dealings of Twitch, a number of significant companies have paused their advertising spending with the platform. It was a direct result of the allegations of anti-Semitism. Twitch has been featured heavily in a slew of negative headlines around lenient moderation of alleged anti-Semitism that was compounded when it was revealed the company had geo-banned signups from Israel following the attack on October 7th. I thought it was Palestine too. I thought it was just like the whole Middle East was like, yeah, we don't want people coming on here because it's a hot button issue. But whatever. So a list of companies and agencies that paused their spending, which was provided under assurances it would not be publicly published, showed 11 corporations and agencies that represent multiple companies. One source added that while they had heard public claims of high volumes of advertisers withdrawing spending, they said a fairer characterization of the response would be limited but not insignificant. A separate source with knowledge of the meetings was able to confirm that one of the upset advertisers was Chevron. Yeah, we talked about that. They said this in, they said they were talking about the apocalypse. They said it's been compared to the way that YouTube dealt with the similar advertiser boycott in 2017. That was prompted by an advertising executive using a machine learning tool to locate when ads were being ran on extremist content. In the aftermath, YouTube created a much more stringent advertising system where content was scanned for anything deemed inappropriate and automatically prevented from displaying advertisements on that content. Yeah, it's a nightmare as a content creator now to navigate YouTube because you never know what's going to piss somebody off. And it changes. And there were entire channels that were destroyed. I mean, there were multiple apocalypses. It wasn't just the one. The 2017 one, I think, was PewDiePie, the anti-Semitic situation there where I think didn't he pay a guy from Fiverr or a couple guys from Fiverr to post some naughty stuff, and then that led to a whole cascade effect. But there was also another apocalypse dealing with kids and family content, because apparently PDF files were flagging videos and tagging each other in on videos where you might have had a kid in a swimsuit, or you might have had a kid doing cartwheels or something, and you might have got a peek or something like that. And they were like time stamping that. That was the allegation. I don't know. Somebody said that the guy that actually called that out wasn't really on the level, but I do know that family content cratered because of that, because any videos that had kids in it, a lot of times there couldn't be comments. They wouldn't run ads on it depending on the content. And there were like it was this entire cottage industry of people that were basically pimping their kids out. No, but they were doing like family vlogging and stuff like that. And then a lot of those channels just disappeared. A lot of those like toy unboxing video channels just like completely disappeared, because if your videos had kids in it at all, it was like, oh, we're not going to monetize this or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it just takes the advertisers getting a hair up their ass about something to cause a massive shift. And YouTube ad revenue, I'm going to be honest, it has never rebounded since the second apocalypse. Like people are making, I mean, look, you get your Mr. Beast, right, where he's making ridiculous money. But I don't think the average YouTuber is making nearly as much money as they used to make 10 years ago. It's just a feeling I have. I mean, I've talked to people that were doing it back then, even before we started doing it, like 2012, 2013. They're like, my God, you could have a channel that just gets a couple million views a month and you'd be making you'd be a millionaire. You'd be a millionaire easy. So, I don't know where, and that's why people weren't doing as much content back then either, I think, because it was like I could just put a video out like once every 2 weeks and I'd make bank. But that's not the case anymore. So I don't know. I think eventually like all these platforms are just going to kind of pivot to like, yeah, you're just basically a sharecropper working somebody else's land. And, you take what we give you and that's it. I don't know. He's saying, again, I don't know Richard Lewis, but it does feel, based on what I've seen, it does feel like this is probably going on. And Twitch has never been super profitable with ads. Most of the financial incentive comes from memberships and sponsorships. And this is a company that's already on thin ice with Amazon. I think this is going to be the kill shot. I 100% think this is going to be the kill shot. So anyway, let's wrap it up, guys. Let's wrap this one up. Again, check out clownfish-.com. Give us some direct support, please. And you can also support us over on Locals, clownfishtv.locals.com. It's an eye-opening experience, guys. I'm just, like I said, I'm very glad I'm not on Twitch right now. But the same thing could happen to YouTube again. And I think it will. I think before it's all said and done, it will. I got another video coming about censorship and possible changes to YouTube as a result of censorship. And things are definitely changing. They're changing very, very quickly. So please subscribe. We'll talk later. Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.